Greetings, heralds of the Crimson Harvest, and all other mortals joining us for this video. I welcome you to the first of my Space Hulk Deathwing videos. For the beta at least, there will be more coming with the full launch of the game, but for this one I wanted to give you a quick overview of all the classes that are currently available in the beta and what their loadouts and functions are. First we have the Librarian, which is the leader of your Deathwing squad. Now, the Librarian has access to the Stormbolter ranged weapon, as well as the Force Sword and the Force Axe. Note that all of the classes have access to the Lost Mace of Corswain once they get in-game, if you pre-order the game, which is the only way you're playing the beta, so everybody has access to the Lost Mace of Corswain. Now, the Librarian is your Psyker class in the game, which means that he can use what is essentially magic in 40k. The first ability you get is Shockwave, which releases a 360-degree blast of telekinetic force, which is a nice crowd control knockdown effect for anything in your vicinity. Forward, backwards, left, right, 360 degrees all around you. Your second ability is Chain Lightning, which is a lightning bolt that strikes the first approaching enemy, as well as hitting enemies behind it in whichever direction that it decides to chain. It does have a multi-target effect that it does. It's pretty effective. Not an insta-kill on a lot of enemies, but it is a good way to weaken enemies in a line, things like that. It also one-shots turrets, and turrets can be quite annoying in the game, and so when you're playing your Librarian, you just look at a turret from a distance, you zoom in, you lightning bolt it, and you're good. No more turret. At level 5 in-game, they access the Force Axe, which is just a little bit better version than the Force Sword. It's just an axe with the glowing effect on it as well. And then at level 8 in-game, you get the ability Spontaneous Combustion, which pretty much lights the targeted enemy that you're looking at on fire, and they run around and they burn to death, which is pretty funny. If you just see a Gene Stealer off in the distance, you look at them, you press 3, they explode into a ball of fire, and they die. It's satisfying. It looks really good. A lot of the things in this game look really good. This is probably the most visually pleasing 40k game we've ever had access to. I mean, you can see the attention to detail on every aspect of this Librarian's armor and every Terminator's armor as we go through the list. The second class that we are going to talk about is the Heavy Weapon Specialty. This is your ranged damage dealing class. We do have the Assault Cannon and Power Fist as the standard loadout. And then we have access to the Vengeance and Plasma Cannon once you get in game and you actually level up. You also have access to the Lost Mace of Corswain. Like I said, every specialty has access to it. You just can't see it until you actually get into game. So the Assault Cannon is your close range ranged weapon. It is a very fast firing 400 magazine, just bullet spewing weapon of death. You can kill 20, 30, 40 Gene Stealers if they line up properly in a very short amount of time. It also has one of my favorite visual effects in the game, which is if you are looking at your battle brother from a different perspective and you're watching them fire the assault cannon, you actually get to watch all of these bullets feed up into the magazine or up into the weapon, eject out of the port, the empty casings, and you get to watch the barrel turn red. So pretty much, you just have one of your teammates stack up in a hallway, you look at the gun, he starts shooting, these bullets feed into the weapon, their empty casings eject out of a working action, not just a static one. It actually works, it pumps back and forth, realistically, for every bullet. It's beautiful. The barrels spin incredibly quickly, they start getting red hot all the way up to the motor. It is the most visually pleasing thing to me in this game. I absolutely love watching somebody fire the assault cannon. Now, the Vengeance Cannon is your level 5 weapon. It is a slower firing version of the Assault Cannon that has armor-piercing rounds, which do more damage to highly armored targets like the Scythe Strain, which you do fight in the beta level. It also only has a 65-round magazine and fires incredibly slow. So, it is my favorite weapon, though, in the beta. To use the Vengeance Cannon is fantastic. The Plasma Cannon, which is your level 3 unlock in-game, is your ranged, almost accuracy weapon. It's also high AoE. You can shoot at your feet as well. It does a lot of damage up close, and it doesn't do any friendly fire damage to you, as long as the friendly fire, option is turned off. You won't kill your teammates. You'll just kill a lot of gene stealers. You pretty much fire it at your feet. It's good. Now, all of these weapons do have a tendency to jam. They do not jam quickly, though. They have... You can fire quite a lot from the Assault Cannon and the Vengeance Cannon before they jam, if they even jam when you're firing through a magazine. The Plasma Cannon has a bit more of a tendency to jam than the Assault Cannon, but it's a Plasma Cannon. It's supposed to do a lot of damage and jam. Thankfully, it doesn't explode and kill you. And then the level 8 ability that you unlock is Machine Spirit, which allows you to hack machines more quickly. So it reduces hacking time by 60%. Our third class we're going to talk about is the Assault Specialty. The Assault Specialty is our melee-only class for the beta, or for the game. I'm assuming it'll be our melee-only class for the full game as well. But they do have access to 3 melee weapons, the Lightning Claw, the Thunder Hammer, and the Mace of Absolution, which you can see here comes with the Storm Shield instead of the dual wielding of the Lightning Claws, and as well as the Lost Mace of Courseway, and you just can't see it until you get in game. The Storm Shield blocks damage when holding it up in front of you, and the Thunder Hammer and Mace of Absolution do a huge amount of AoE damage. I mean, they can kill a lot of enemies. Their AoE damage on the Mace of Absolution and Thunder Hammer is absolutely huge. Anytime I play with somebody who knows what they're doing as an Assault Specialty, they rack up 250, 300, 350 kills in a match and pretty much leave nothing else for anybody. Their abilities start with Zealot, which allows you to sprint for a longer time. At level 3, you unlock the Thunder Hammer, which we all know what the Thunder Hammer looks like. And then at level 5, you unlock Deep Strike. And Deep Strike is an activatable ability, which teleports you to the closest, or to the target that you're looking at. So wherever your crosshair is, that's where you're going to teleport relative to whatever enemy that you're looking at. Deep Strike is good for getting you into the fight, but I have seen it backfire on people a few times where they Deep Strike into a group of like 10 or 20 Gene Stealers, and then, well, they die rather quickly. It happened to me, actually. So when I say other players, I mean myself. And then level 8, they get Energy Field, which combos very nicely with Deep Strike, because then you Deep Strike, you activate Energy Field, which gives you 10 seconds of invulnerability, and then you don't have to worry about dying. You just go to town for 10 seconds, killing pretty much everything that was around you, and taking no damage for it. The only problem I have with the Assault Specialty right now is the fact that even when you're holding the shield up, it's still very easy to die to ranged fire. And I don't know if that's supposed to be designed like that. I don't know if ranged weapon fire is still supposed to be incredibly effective against the shield, but you know, if I'm walking towards 4 hybrids and they only have, you know, auto guns, and I've got my shield up, and then all of a sudden I die after a few volleys, it's like, well, what was I using a shield for? I probably should have just sprinted. I probably would have lived longer, because you can't sprint while you're using a shield. So hopefully that won't be the same in the full game. Hopefully they will make the shield work as intended, but until then, it still works. It's a little wonky. Our fourth class that we're going to talk about is the Apothecary class. They are your healer. The Apothecary can only have one Apothecary per class. Same with the Librarian. You can only have one Librarian per squad. But you can have as many assaults, heavies, and tacticals as you want. But the Apothecary's job is to keep the squad at full health. They have access to the Storm Bolter, which is your standard Storm Bolter, as well as the Redemption Bolter, which is a shotgun. It is a double-barreled 20-round magazine shotgun that is incredibly effective and has a very satisfying firing effect. It just has this really deep boom every time you fire the weapon. Incredibly satisfying. And their standard melee weapon is the Narthekium, which is their, you know, the way they extract the gene seed from their battle brothers, but it pretty much acts as their healing unit, or their healing ability unit in this beta or in the full game. They can get the Lost Mace of Courseway, but like I said, you can't actually see that until you get in game. The Apothecary has 4 abilities, which is Narthekium, which lets you instant heal anybody that you touch with it on a 15-second cooldown. It is a 100% heal, and it repairs all of your armor as well. So you can get your squad to full health in 45 seconds. It's incredibly useful. The level 3 ability is Auto Heal, which instantly heals the Apothecary to full health, as well as repairs all armor damage. Then you have Mass Heal, which is an AoE heal to relatively full health over the direction of 10 seconds. Like, the mass heal is incredibly strong. It is incredibly strong when it comes to making sure no one dies ever, at least on normal and hard difficulties. Haven't had any experience with it on the hardest difficulty, but I imagine that, you know, being able to instant heal on any difficulty is incredibly useful. And then at level 8, they gain access to the Redemption Bolter, which is a storm bolter that uses modified frag munitions. It pretty much explodes into a bolt of, you know, blazing pellets. You just shoot a shotgun blast pretty much. And our last class for the beta that we had access to is the Tactical Specialty, which is a special unit in that they have access to the Reinforcement ability, which instantly brings back the last ally to fall in battle, or the first. So, or the only, I guess is the best way to put it. So pretty much, if you see a teammate die, as soon as they die, activate Reinforcement. It instantly brings them back to life, and then goes on cooldown, which I think it only has like a 90-second cooldown, so it's really, really easy to make sure that you always have this ready for the next fight. And the Reinforcement 2 just adds on top of that. It brings them back even faster. And then at level 5, they get access to the Spear of Caliban and the Protector ability, which gives a targeted ally 10 seconds of invulnerability. And like I said, the Spear of Caliban, which is a specialized plasma cannon that fires incredibly quickly, as well as doing AoE damage and plasma damage. The only side effect to it is that it does jam quite frequently, and it has a slower recharge than the regular plasma cannon. It has a recharge over time instead of just like a quick instant recharge. So you do have to manage your ammunition with the Spear of Caliban, but it is incredibly accurate. It does do pretty good single target damage, and not as much AoE damage as a plasma cannon. The level 8 ability is Crusaders. The mastery of your weapon allows you to shoot with greater precision for a short time and avoid any malfunctions. So what you do is you get the Spear of Caliban, you point in a direction of a group of enemies, you activate Crusaders, and then you spray 30 or 40 plasma shots towards them, and they all die. Or if you're fighting a Scythe Strain, you activate the Spear of Caliban and Crusaders, and you pretty much instantly kill that Scythe Strain over the next 10 seconds. It is very strong to be able to shoot 30 or 40 balls of plasma in a straight line towards whatever you're aiming at. It is my second favorite weapon in the game. Love using the Spear of Caliban. I cannot wait to see more named weapons in the full game, and, you know, more weapons that have those really cool, really just unique ways of shooting, like the Vengeance and the Spear of Caliban. But those are the 5 classes that we have access to in the beta currently. I believe it ends on the 29th, so, you know, we've got a few more days to play with it and enjoy the one level, the awesome gunplay, and things like that. Should any of this change, and I imagine that a lot of this will change in the full game, I will make another class, you know, overview video for the full game, and we will talk more about it then on launch, which is December 9th. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the information in it. Enjoy the rest of your time between this video and the next one, and I will see you guys on the battlefield.